Welcome to the Real Deal Smite God reveal, featuring Thor, the Norse god of thunder.
You are in for a world of pain. I bring the thunder and the lightning.
You know, Thor is one of the more interesting gods in the game. He's usually the god new players pick up and think he's a good warrior with a high damage output, but then you look up Thor's profile and Hi-Rez is all like, "Surprise, fuckface, he's an assassin." It's happened to me, my friends, and I'm sure it's happened to you too. Really don't know why he is an assassin. I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen an assassin go for a sledgehammer as their primary weapon, but I am willing to be proven wrong on this. I guess they made him an assassin so there isn't a dozen Norse warriors, but now there's like a dozen Norse assassins. Well, that's that, I guess. So Thor is an ability-focused assassin with extremely high movement capabilities who plays similar to Garen from League, if Garen could blink around the map every few seconds without hassle and stun like an asshole. Now, when I say he's ability-focused, I mean he uses his abilities more than his auto-attacks. The only reason I say this is because Thor isn't played all that often, despite being one of the 5 free gods. And when he is, I see people build the stupidest things on him. Like they go crit damage and executioner or something retarded like that. Hell, I saw one dumbass build haste and fatalist on him. Thankfully I won that match. Probably because that guy wasn't on my team, but still. Thor's passive is Warrior's Madness. Hey Hi-Rez, you do know Thor isn't a warrior, right? Hold on, let me fix this, and here we go. So, Thor's passive is Assassin's Madness. Thor gains physical power for each enemy god within 30 units of him, which stacks up to 3 times, and he gains 10 power per each stack. Probably the scariest thing about this passive is that, unless you main Thor, you just found out what his passive is. Hell, if you do main Thor, I still wouldn't be surprised if you didn't know what his passive was. I'm dead serious when I say that Thor is that underplayed. Man, it's the ultimate secret weapon against your opponents. They'll never figure out how you did that 10 extra damage. Being serious though, the passive is pretty good. It's nothing OP, but it's not useless. It's something you would expect on an assassin that's meant to go all in like Thor. Although, I did find out a secret bonus to this passive that I've never heard anyone talk about before. This passive still works even if an enemy god is invisible. You would think that Thor would need to see them, but nope, it's just a 6th sense thing, I guess. This is pretty cool since it's a way to counterplay against Loki players, and the more ways to counter Loki the better. Thor's one is Mjolnir's Atonement. Thor throws his hammer forward, dealing 210 plus 30% physical damage to all enemies in the line. If enemies are hit by the rebound, minions take an additional half damage while gods take double damage. While the hammer is flying, you can press the button again to teleport Thor to his hammer. While this ability sounds alright, the damage output is a lot more gross than it sounds. How gross is gross? I would say about this gross?
This'll hurt!
You know, more or less, just a rough estimate. Although what makes this ability stand out is the inbuilt blink mechanic. Not only can you go through walls with it, but with maximum cooldown you can spam this every 7 seconds. I mean, that's just nuts. The line the hammer moves is long already, but using it every 7 seconds and you're never gonna catch up to him. That's just bullshit, dude. Thor's 2 is Tectonic Rift. Thor slams his hammer on the ground, causing a fissure to appear in front of him for 4 seconds and stuns all enemies hit by it for 1.6 seconds at max rank. So why does it stun for 1.6 seconds instead of 1.5? No clue. Guess Hi-Rez really wanted that extra 0.1 second stun.
I just need that 1 extra point of stun. I just need that 1 extra point of stun. I just need that 1 extra point.
Even though this ability does no damage, the utility it provides is what makes it good. Like, the length of this ability is so long, you can catch people out from the— What the fuck? This ability covers the entire lane. Man, why is everything in Thor's kit so long?
Is it surprising that the day named after me is also a popular ladies' night?
Yeah, I know. Stupid questions deserve stupid answers. Well, even if you do miss the stun, as wide as it is, it's still good for blocking off escape routes to catch people off. Although if you're me, you'll more often use it for blocking off teammates from kills. Thor's 3 is Berserker Barrage. Hey guys, I don't think Hi-Rez is even aware that Thor is an assassin now. Anyway, so when Thor uses this ability, he spins his hammer around him, dealing a 100 plus 45% physical damage every 0.4 seconds for 2 seconds. Thor is also immune to knockup for the duration. So Thor's spin to win move hits a total of 5 times, so at max rank it will do 500 plus 45% multiplied by 5 of your physical power. That's a lot of winning by spinning. Seriously though, this ability is good and is used to finish off opponents. Moving on. Thor's ult is Anvil of Dawn. Thor becomes CC immune and channels the ability for a few seconds. Thor then leaps into the air, and while in the air, Thor can target a great distance away to crash down, dealing 350 plus 120% physical damage and stuns everything in the radius for 1.5 seconds. Now this is what gives Thor so much coverage of the map, you know, aside from his one. I mean, this area he can ult to is just stupid. I mean, even Hi-Rez made a chart about his skills, and his movement is literally off the charts because of this ult. Think Thor 1 with full cooldown is stupid? How about Thor's vanilla ult? I mean, you can gank a lane halfway through the jungle in a second, for fuck's sake. How can anybody catch up with that? Well, aside from the distance and the stun, that's all this ult has going for it. Just by showing the numbers of the ult compared to Thor's 3 or 1, you can see how little it does. Even if we give Thor 500 physical power, it still doesn't do more damage than his other abilities. Although the ult is still good for catching people out and does do a decent amount of damage when you land it. So with the amount of damage Thor can deal and the coverage he brings to the table, why does nobody really play Thor to the point that people don't know his passive and Hi-Rez forgot he's an assassin? Well, it's because Thor's kit requires him to be all in or nothing. Well, more so than other assassins. For example, if you ult him with Thor, then stun the target, 1 them, then blink next to them to 3, hopefully you did all that to an enemy god who was alone, cause now you have no getaway and you're gonna get your ass beat. Now if you held on to your ult to use as your getaway, it still takes a few seconds to channel before you fly into the air, which is enough time for the enemy to attempt to kill you. It's because of this that people tend to play Bastet or Loki more so than Thor. So why play Thor if there are safer choices for assassins with better kill secure potential and getaways? Well, it's because Thor is one of the few assassins with the most crowd control abilities currently in Smite. Like the full stun combo from Thor lasts over 3 seconds, which is longer than most stuns from Guardians. Also, Thor can be built off tank and still be able to deal a large amount of damage. You know, like a warrior! Overall, he's a decent assassin and is really fun to play. It is a shame he isn't played more, because dunking on people with Thor's ult is one of the more enjoyable things in the game, and securing kills with his 1 is super satisfying. Plus he's one of the only gods with a tier 5 skin, and I think we can all agree that's a good reason to main Thor. And that's everything about Thor. He flies around and teleports everywhere and stuns like an asshole. How fucking fun is that? Well, anyway. Hope you guys learned a thing or two, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!